Hi guys, my name is Val. In case you don't know, I am the Happy Lifter, and today I am gonna make a really quick video because this week has gone by way too fast. I have a powerlifting meet next weekend, and I've been running around and trying to get ready and trying to wrap my head around what weights I want to do, and I'm a little stressed. So this week I'm going to talk about, I just went grocery shopping, so I'm going to talk about that, and I'm also going to talk about what I do to assemble my lunches and make them not boring, because I know a lot of people who tell me, oh, I don't know what to pack for lunch, or they tell me like, how do you not get bored of eating the same thing over and over? And there's a trick to it. So I'm going to tell you about my tricks today. I'm going to tell you about the life hacks that I've developed over the years from eating the same thing a lot. I'm one of those people who can eat the same thing and not care for a long time. But I know people who get sick of their food really quickly, and I understand that. So I'm going to try and help you guys today. So basically, the first thing you want to do, first and foremost, you want to look for bulk. You want to look not for gaining mass. I mean, well, you can, but what I mean is you want to look for bulk veggies and bulk protein, so bulk meats if you're eating meat, obviously. That's what I do. I look at the sales and what can I buy that's like in a big container that I can cut up into smaller things. So the first thing that I bought today and that I totally went for was this giant bag of salad. It's a pre-made salad, but what I want is for the bag to have more vegetables than the little packet things that they have with the dressing and whatever else they put in there. So I want just a lot of veggies that I don't have to prep myself. So I buy one of these. It has kale in it. I'm not a huge fan of eating kale by itself. I also have in the fridge right now some baby spinach that I'm also not a huge fan of eating by itself. So what I do is I mix them up, because rarely will I find a bag of some kind of salad that has all ingredients that I actually want to eat. So by mixing them up, A, it's less boring, and B, you can get away with eating veggies you kind of don't like. So that's the first step. I buy vegetables in bulk and I try to make it so that I don't have to prep them ever. So that's for salads. Obviously you're not always going to eat a salad, but let's say you want to add vegetables to your lunch and you don't feel like cutting them because that takes a long fucking time, and then you have to put them in a different container. So what do? You buy one of these. You buy vegetables that you don't have to prep. Basically, these cucumbers are little, they're bite-sized. You could just wash them, throw them in your lunch, and take them out when it's time to eat. So you can do that with cherry tomatoes and basically any other vegetable that doesn't require any packaging. So now if we go back to the salad idea, and I'll tell you later why I like salads now. It's a new thing, I promise. You're gonna want to put some dressing on it maybe, right? But they're not all healthy. So what I buy usually is the ones that are refrigerated, because I feel like they're fresher. I feel like the ingredients list is less shitty. It's usually more natural stuff, and it's usually like in the organic section or in the vegetable section actually. So I buy these. This is honey Dijon vinaigrette. It tastes really good, and then when I get sick of eating this for a few days, because I will, I usually buy a big pack of guacamole, because A, I don't have to fucking make it, which is great, and also it's cheaper than buying straight up avocados. So, and I think also it's a bit less fat per, yeah, it's a little bit less fat per serving because there's other things in here. You know, other vegetables. It's a bonus. So again, this is a 3-pack. I bought it in bulk and it will last me for the next few weeks. Now obviously your salad would not be complete without putting fucking protein on it. So what I do, because I am not a vegetarian, I'm not vegan, I am a straight up carnivore, I buy bulk meats. So I buy just like large quantities if I can. Obviously, because meat is expensive, I look at the sales and see if I can buy a lot of chicken breasts or a lot of chicken thighs. Some ground turkey was on sale today, for example, or just a lot of lean ground beef or extra lean ground beef. I prefer extra lean because I can save on some fats and then just put more dressing on top. But I'm also very open to eating just lean ground beef in general. And usually when you go to Costco, I think it's lean only, it's not extra lean. But regardless, I try and buy large family size, and then you cook it in a batch, and then you can just cut it up into meals once again. And for salads, it's really good because you can buy a lot of chicken, a lot of beef, and let's say some sausages, and then you can cook all those things on your meal prep day. So that means cooking in advance, yes, I know. But on the morning of, you've assembled your veggies. You have whatever dressing you want to put on top that you can take with you. I leave some at work actually. and then you just sprinkle on top whichever fucking protein you feel like eating that day. So you can mix up, let's say you have barbecue chicken, and then you can have ground beef, and then you can have like sweet and sour chicken or some spicy sausage. All those things do not taste the same, and so your salad will probably not taste the same either, especially if you're switching up your vinaigrettes, right? So that's how I get away with eating a salad almost every day at lunch. And the reason I really like salad is because it takes longer to eat. Try it. Just mix up a bunch of veggies that are just a little too big for you to put in your mouth in just like one shot. It's gonna take you forever to eat it. Whereas if you actually made a meal, you probably hoover it within 5 minutes. I know I eat very fast. I have a lot of friends who eat even faster than I do, and I've noticed that a lot of people tend to eat slower when they're eating a salad. So that's a big reason why. Also, I've noticed that salads have a lot more veggies than just regular meals because that's what they are. So that's my other reason for eating salads recently, and I don't get sick of them because, like I said, I mix up the textures, I mix up spicy versus sweet, and I mix up the meats. So I know we've talked about your protein, we also talked about your veggies, we've talked about your vinaigrettes and guacamole, which are technically fats. But as I said in my last video about protein, I mentioned that you want a balanced meal, and what that means is that you need to add some carbs. Now yes, I know vegetables have carbs in them, they just don't have a lot of them. So if you're not keen on eating a lot of carbs, if you're watching them maybe, that's fine. If you're not very active, totally cool. I, on the other hand, am a very big fan of carbs. I like to eat them throughout the day, and especially surrounding my workouts, so before and after usually. So what happens is, I can't just eat a salad. It's great, it tastes good. I'm okay with eating a lot of vegetables nowadays, apparently, but I would like to add some things without having to prep them. That's not true. Sometimes I do cook basmati rice in advance, and then I will throw it onto my salad because I think that tastes good. And I also sometimes just pack an actual meal of rice, veggies, and protein. But that kind of bores me more than a salad, to be honest. So if we go back to the idea of salads, and let's say you want to add carbs to your meal without actually adding them to your salad, there are other ways to do that. So just like I said before about the vegetables kind of coming along in their own containers, a lot of fruits have the same kind of deal. So I know what you're gonna say, hey man, bananas have their own little outfit that acts as a container. I know! I actually buy a lot of bananas these days, and I mostly eat them for breakfast, but it's true. A lot of fruits can just, you break them off their thing and take them with you. It's that easy. And then you have some fruits that actually come in another package. These little things are actually great for pre-workout. I take them along with me in my gym bag, and I usually have them if ever I feel a little jittery after a workout. They're really cool little squeeze packs of applesauce. This is just applesauce, but sometimes you have some that are mixed fruits also. They're just really fun to eat, honestly. And they're really, really convenient. So if you don't feel like prepping your apple, this is another option. Probably a lot more expensive than an apple, but it's there if you need it. So let's say you want something a little bit more consistent and you don't feel like prepping some rice in advance. I actually take along with me almost every day packets of oatmeal, because if I get hungry, I know that I can just make these with hot water. And yes, I know there's added sugar in here. I don't give a shit. If you do, you can always just pack the nature flavored ones. They taste like nature, as you would expect. And then if you're feeling really fancy and you're a fan of cereal, just like I am, you pack some of these. These are my favorite carbs when I don't get a lot of carbs. So cereal, usually, is a lower density carbohydrate food. So basically you can have a lot of these for, a decent amount of carbs. So you're not gonna get a huge bomb that's gonna put you in a coma all afternoon, but you're gonna get your carbs, and there's actually a lot of fiber in these because they're the grain kind. I also eat sugary cereal sometimes, but this is just a fun thing that I fit into my lunch. I basically take the time to weigh them out and put them in a Ziploc baggie, and then I eat them and I'm very happy. Because you have to remember that lunch, or any meal actually when you're eating healthy, is supposed to still be enjoyable. If you're miserable when you're eating healthy, you're not doing it right. You're not doing yourself a favor either. So that's how I make my lunches interesting when I'm getting really bored of vegetables, let's say. I add a little bit of fun, whether it's by adding oatmeal packets or adding little squeezies or adding cereal. So guys, that'll be all for today. I hope these little tips and tricks helped you figure out what you want to eat tomorrow, or at least figure out how to make your lunch not boring, because that was the whole point of this video. And I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that makes me really happy and that shows me that people actually want to watch this. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you, if you like recipes, if you like healthy meal ideas, I have a newsletter that I send every week to people who subscribe with meal ideas, recipes, just a bunch of stuff that I find on the internet, either from my website or from anywhere, things that look good to eat and that look fairly easy to make. And I just make a list every week, send it out. It's usually 3 or 4 recipes, and I know a lot of people enjoy that because it means that they don't have to think too hard about what they're gonna make for dinner. So I'll leave a subscribe link in the description below. So guys, as always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week after my powerlifting meet. Wish me luck. Bye.